I posted about having this book like a year ago, almost like to the day. Like, it's February 14th. It's Valentine's Day. I posted about having this book last February 9th of 2023. So I'm finally getting it. Hey guys, welcome back to Book It. Today we are going to be talking about a book that I have literally had for over a year. And that is Radiant Sin, which is the fourth book in the Dark Olympus series by Katie Robert. The first three being Neon Gods, Electric Idol, Wicked Beauty, and now Radiant Sin. So basically this started as like one book, and like she's really built on it. And I was very hesitant at first, but like I could not get into this book at first. So I made a post on February 9th of 2023, basically was like, I got the book, let me read it, and then I'll review it. And then I literally tried to read it, didn't like it, and it's been sitting on my to be read forever. So now I'm finally doing it. I'm gonna turn my camera a little bit so I can add it to the collection, because here's my other Dark Olympus series. So here's the other ones, which is weird because if you look, this one is so much darker than the other. But also I think it's because this one, like, so I read this one at home. I read this one at the beach. So this one literally went through hell for a while. This book's seen it all. I got this book wet at the beach. I let it dry out completely, so it's totally fine. And then this one as well. So I think it's just such a dark book. Because like, look at all of them together. It's just so dark. Like, hold on, even I have the fifth one too. Okay, but no, we are going to be talking about Radiant Sin, so it can go right over here with all of its other buddies on top of the other Katie Robert books. So, all right. So basically, this is a love story between Cassandra and Apollo. So when we left off, Helen has fought and she has become the new Ares. Her and her two partners, Patroclus, yeah, that one, and Achilles. I think it's Achilles. I don't think it's Achilles. It's Achilles. Oh my gosh, this is the worst part about all the yeah, Achilles. So they are now like in an awesome throuple. They are living their best life. But the Minos and his two sons, the Minotaur and Theseus, have moved into Olympus, and basically they are like trying to like work their way into the inner 13, and we don't really know how yet, but we will like figure it out. So the book starts talking about Apollo and Zeus are having a conversation where Zeus is like, hey, you gotta figure out what the heck Minos is doing first in our city. What is he doing here? And also, what does he want? And he's like, okay, cool, like, rock on. Cassandra is Apollo's secretary and basically like his personal assistant, so she just does all the work for him. And we learn very early on that she has like a really rough past. Like, her parents were murdered by the 13, and then their deaths were covered up, and they were considered traitors because of information that they found out about the 13. And it right off the bat kind of just tells us. So basically, Cassandra's parents found out that if you kill one of the 13 inner circles, you become like that title is yours. So it's like, what? And before they could go public with it, they were killed. And then it was just written off as like, oh, they were just traitors. And since then, Cassandra and her sister Alexandra have just basically just been like looked down upon in Olympus. Apollo ended up hiring her. Basically no one else would, hired her, and she's just trying to save up enough money to get the hell out of Dodge. She does not want to be in Olympus anymore. She's done. So basically they're like, the Minos is having a party at his house, and he invites a bunch of people, and it's a week-long party. He says it's in honor of like his ex-wife or whatever, I don't know. And basically he's like, I think that what he wants to do is he's trying to set up one of his kids, because he has 4 kids. He has the Minotaur, Theseus, Adrian, Icarus, and Pandora, but Pandora's not really his kid. And then Theseus and the Minotaur are adopted. And then I don't know if Adrian, but Icarus is his son. Anyway, so Apollo's like, okay, what do I do? And they're like, hey, well, how about you pretend to already have a girlfriend so he can't set you up, but you'll still get invited to this party, and then you're going to go in and basically figure out what's going on. And so Zeus makes a deal with Cassandra. She goes in with him and pretends that they're dating, pretends that they're fine. He will give her money, enough money, once the week is over, to get out of Olympus, and she will never have to look back. He will make sure she gets out of the city safely. He will make sure that she like has her like goodbyes, and like they are good. And she's like, dope. So she and Apollo are like caught out in public like a week before they end up going to this party, and they end up going like there. When they get there, they realize that there's a bunch of other people from the 13. Aphrodite and Adonis are there. Hermes is there, Dionysus, Pan, who is the owner of the restaurant that they were caught in, but he's also like Dionysus's date. Hephaestus is there, Artemis is there, like just like a lot of people, right? And then of course it's the Minotaur, Theseus, Minos, Adrian, Icarus, they're all there as well. And they all have like +1s as well. And so this is when we kind of learned that Cassandra dated Hermes. I think it's Hermes is like how you're like the popular, I've always called her Hermes. Also, I want to say, if I butcher some of the names of the Greek gods, I do apologize. I am not like, I'm a big Greek god fan, but I am not like I feel like a lot of people know more about them than I do. So I mean, I've read my books, I have books, but I just feel like I might butcher some names. So we learned that Cassandra and Hermes dated, and the two of them have like this really weird unspoken bond where like they look out for each other, but like they also like never were public about the relationship. So it's a really weird vibe. And basically she like pulls Cassandra aside and she's like, you need to go home. And Cassandra's like, why? And she's like, you just need to leave. Like, you need to go home right now and like do not look back. And she's like, F you, whatever. So the Minotaur is having these people do like really weird challenges. Like the first ones, they have to like go into this maze and like find the center of the maze, and like it's just really weird because it's like a lot of people from the 13 and all their +1s and stuff. But like as the book goes on, the +1s start kind of going missing here and there. Like Pan is like found like murdered, Atalana goes missing, Atlanta goes missing, that's her name. It's just like super weird. But like Cassandra and Apollo end up like dating for this event, and Cassandra basically decides, she's like, hey, you know what, for this event, fair game, everything's on the table, because literally in a week I am going to be out of the city. So like if you want to ramp it up, let's ramp it up. Let's like show them that we're not only dating, we are madly in love. And he's like on. So that's when they start doing sexy time out in like literally like the sitting rooms. Like they are making it very publicly known that they are there to do this one thing, and that is bang. From there we kind of see them trying to like break down what's going on, and all the children of like Minos, and it's like a really weird vibe overall. So we basically learned that like Cassandra is she's like stalking Hermes like throughout this entire time, and she's like, what is she up to, what's she up to, because like no one trusts anybody. And during this entire time, Apollo and Cassandra start falling in love. They have like very open conversations. They start doing challenges together. They like, you know, they get really good at knowing like who the other person is. They get very, very physical. They're literally having sexual intercourse like multiple times a day. Like they are literally getting very personal with one another. So Cassandra hears Hermes and Mino having an agreement that they like talk about, like basically she overhears that Hermes did tell like Minos about the clause about killing one of the 13. And his plan is to have one of his kids do it, because originally Theseus or the Minotaur was supposed to win the Ares competition and become Ares, but because Helen showed him up with Achilles and Patroclus, gosh, I will never say his name right. Patty McBee, let's call him that. Patty and Achilles, she became the new Ares. It seemed unfair because that's 3 of the Cassius siblings that are all in power, because the Zeus and Ares and then Aphrodite are all siblings. So she is like, oh my gosh, what do? I need to go tell somebody. And Hermes basically catches her and is like, hey, you can go tell people and no one's going to believe you because you're a liar just like your parents. And she's like, no, like they're going to believe me. And she's like, okay, well, Apollo will believe you, but by the time everyone else does, it's going to be way too late. So first off, Hermes, I liked her. I have vibed with her since the first book because she's a part of like the underworld. Her and Dionysus are like best friends. They're hanging out, they're vibing. She's friends with Hades. She's like, you know, sneaking in your house. I liked her. Now she's a bad guy? Okay. So, she goes and tells Apollo, like, hey, this is what's going to happen. They're trying to enact this, like, this law, basically this unspoken law that like we don't talk about, that the 13 have been trying for years to hide. Like, they killed my parents over this, but they're trying to like make it so that way his kids can be a part of the 13. And Apollo is able to get out like a lot of people. Like, a lot of the gods end up leaving because he's like, yo, y'all gotta dip, like get the hell out. They realize that Artemis and Hephaestus are the only 2 that are not accounted for. And he's like, she's like, all right, Cassandra's like, all right, let's split up. I'm gonna go find Hephaestus, you go find Artemis, and we'll like, you know, we'll go our separate ways. Apollo looks at her and is like, no, we're not splitting up. And she's like, come on, it'll be faster. He's like, no, because I'm not like risking losing, like he doesn't want to lose her. And she's like, but think about Olympus. This is like, your job is to protect Olympus. And he was like, I would rather watch the city burn than lose you. I think I marked it. I want to give you verbatim what this man said, because he said it and I was like, oh my god, that is my favorite thing he has ever said. Okay, ready? This is a reading from Radiant Sin. I don't care. I stopped short and lowered my voice. I do not give a F word. Cassandra, I will not risk you. Not for Olympus, not for anything. I love you and I will let the city burn before I intentionally put you in harm's way. That's so hot. So hot. So they decide to go get Artemis first. And basically they go out and they're like, Artemis! And literally that's when the Minotaur is about to pop her, right? And she like, you know, jumps down and like somersaults and she gets out. And she literally takes off into the water and she's zooming it, right? And this is when they're like, okay, well, she got away, but not everybody did. And it's when they realize that Hephaestus, like, it might be too late to save Hephaestus. So they, Theseus is going like, you know, they flee and they get to him, and Theseus is like, boom, boom, like, beating him up. And they realize that Hephaestus, like, isn't even fighting back at this point. He's just laying there taking it. And they're like, bro, because Artemis is like the god of the hunt, so like she has like some skill, like she will like zoom and get out of there. But poor Hephaestus, he's just hanging out. Like, why is everyone all mean on him? Because like why are you being mean to that guy? He is the he's the Greek god of fire, metalworking, craftsman, sculpture, and volcanoes. He's a blacksmith of the god, but I like to think of him as like a cute guy. Oh, he's also a cripple? Oh no, he's not. Oh, well, Zeus flung him off of the Mount Olympus. But like, I like to think of Hephaestus as like the fun guy. He's friends with Dionysus. Anyway, but they get back to like, you know, they end up like going and like bam, 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 bam. And Apollo jumps in to try to save him. And this is when Theseus like starts going off on Apollo. And she's like, I can't lose them. So Cassandra grabs a tire iron, I think. Yeah, she takes a tire iron to him and bam, knocks him down, right? Apollo calls for Zeus and is like, bro. And Zeus is like, I'm on my way. So like Zeus and Ares and Achilles, like they all show up and they're ready to just This is when Theseus looks up at Cassandra and and he says like he's taking the title. So once you kill one of the 13, you have to like, I lost my train of thought. Oh yes, I remember. So once Theseus beats Hephaestus to death, he looks at Cassandra and says, I claim Hephaestus's title by right of might in the laws written upon Olympus' founding. Cassandra, you stand as my witness. So basically that means that he has officially taken the title and she's a witness. So it's like legit now. Yeah, so they go back to the city. Zeus is like extremely pissed, obviously. And he's trying to figure out how to stop this. It was already leaked to the media, which they know was Minos, and basically there's nothing they can do now. And now they're like on the defense because they're like, well, now people are going to come out of nowhere and just start trying to kill like members of the 13 because they think they don't know like the actual law, like they don't know like the rule. They just think like, oh, it'll be fine. So Cassandra and her sister have like a conversation about this all. And her sister says that they should like not leave because yes, their parents did a really bad thing. Yes, their parents were killed by the 13, but like who's going to look out for Apollo, you know? Because like Ares has her 2 lovers and Zeus has Hera, and of course like everyone's going to protect Zeus, and Hades has Persephone and Persephone has Hades, and like it's just one of those things where they're like, she's like, everyone has somebody, but like nobody's protecting Apollo. And so she decides that she's going to stay, and she agrees and decides to stay, and basically just prepared for whatever Theseus is planning when he steps into the role of Hephaestus. And basically the book ends, they're like, what are we going to do? How do we distract the public from this big thing? Like, how do we convince the public not to kill other members of 13? And Aphrodite is like, we need to have a wedding. And Apollo's like, whoa, hey, like, nah. And I think Hela makes a comment where she's like, I already have 2, I'm not doing another one. And Aphrodite's like, no, like, I will do it. Which is perfect because, you know, obviously it sets us up for the next book. And I mean, obviously, like, I read the next book, so like, no shocker. But no, overall, this book was a 3 out of 5. And this month was a 3 out of 5. Like, it was a really, really good, well-written book. I really did like this book a lot. I think it was really, really hard to get into. The very beginning was really hard to get into because it kind of started off exactly like Electric Idol did. But it was just kind of hard. I couldn't really, you know, get there. But once I got there, I'm good. It's not one of my favorites, to be honest. I feel like the first 2 were like so much better. But I'm definitely going to keep reading this series. I mean, obviously I've already read the next one and I'm going to get the one after this, but like, I really like, I love that it's like, yes, but also like there's like an underlying like tone, and like in like each book it just builds a little bit more, and I love that. So this book, 3 out of 5, big fan of the series. Katie Robert, you know, me and her have a love-hate relationship where I hated her books, the Wicked Villain series, not my thing, but this Dark Olympus series, 100% my thing. I think that Neon Gods was one of like the very first like books that I like did like a big review on, so the fact that we're keeping it up is just A1. But yeah, that's Radiant Sin. I mean, there's not really much else to say. I'm going to go ahead and make sure you follow my Goodreads because that's where I put everything. So I'm going to go ahead and literally update my Goodreads like right now. So it's February 14th is when I'm updating all of my stuff. Yet this Radiant Sin video is not even scheduled. I have a schedule now because I'm very prepared this year. I've been on schedule pretty good. As of right now, I'm only like, I'm not even behind. On top of it, this isn't even scheduled until March 14th, so a whole month away. But if you follow my Goodreads, you can go ahead and see my thoughts, you can go ahead and see what I'm already thinking, and you can already know what video is coming up next. So make sure you follow that. It is in the link down below. And then also please make sure you like and subscribe. It helps me out so much more than you could possibly think. And you can always do it if you don't want to at another time, and it's completely free. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye!